Creating the perfect acrylic ombre. There is technique to achieve that perfect blend. Right now on Nail School. Okay, dude, acrylic ombre, the baby boomer, the French ombre. How do you achieve that? How do you get that perfect transition, that perfect blend?
Powder is definitely the key. I'm not gonna use a really bright powder. I'm gonna use our core white. It's more of an off-white. So when I build the free edge, I'm not just going to build it flush to the natural nail. I wanna build a full well tip. But I don't want to build it thick. So like if you're looking at the side profile, I'm not going to build the acrylic like this thick. I still want it really thin to the natural nail. That way when I overlay it with the nude powder, it's going to fade really well into the free edge. So let's go ahead and build the free edge first using core white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice bead, right, of core white. And then what I'm gonna do is, for me, it's really easy to set it right here on top of the natural nail and then allow everything to flow down onto the form. So at this point, I could use the body of the brush and just kind of move it into the shape that I want. The shape I'm gonna choose here is the shape I'm going to choose here is going to be more of a coffin shape. Alright, so as you can see, I'm just going to pull it all the way out to this position, to the very front of my form. And as you can see, I've built a nice full well application. Okay, it's almost like I've glued on a full well tip. I'm going to give you guys a side profile to see what this looks like. You can see how thin it is through here. It's not too thick at all. Okay. What we're going to do is we want the nude powder to blend really well with this off-white powder. So we're going to use Cover Pink. And what I want to do is I want to set this down. Now again, you can see how light the white is. It's light enough where you can almost see through this area because it's so thin, but that's okay. So what I want to do is I want to get a large enough pearl, as you can see right here. And then when I set it to the cuticle area, you notice that I don't drain my brush. With the Cover Pink powder, what we want to be able to do, and again, as if you're working with Cover Peach as well, you don't need to drain it right away. You just need to get it so that it actually runs right down. And then as soon as it passes over the white, what I'm going to do is start blending it in. And I don't want to obviously pull it so it covers the white, but you can see how pretty the nude color blends into the off-white. It's extremely natural. Look at that. It is extremely natural. As soon as it blends into the white, it creates this extremely natural fade. Okay? You can see from the side profile how thin it is up through here, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to take a really small pearl, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this right at the tip and then feather it up and into the body. And then with my brush, I can actually use the body of the brush and just kind of blend it up. You can see I could just kind of blend it up into the rest of the nail, creating this really awesome fade between white and pink. Now here's the thing. I don't want to file this area away. This area right here is still thin. You can see I have my upper arch and then it dips down. I've blended the white and the pink well, but what I want to do is I want to kind of cap this area in right here so that when I file it into shape, I don't file through this, right, and create like a heartbeat line or a line of demarcation. If the white is too high and the pink is too high and you file it, what you're gonna end up seeing is the white and the pink joining up to each other. You're gonna see this line of demarcation. And to avoid that line of demarcation, you have to cover it with clear. That way when you file, you don't file into the white and the pink. It actually stays perfectly blended. You have perfect gradation between those two natural colors. So what we want to do at this point is we want to take a little bit of speed clear, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right here and fade it up into the pink, and you can see the excess that I have. What I'm going to do with the body of my brush is start working it over the rest of the nail. What I'm going to actually start doing is blending it over the rest of the nail, but you can actually see from the side profile how well it filled in that area right here. And the nice thing about it is you can actually see how well my fade has become. Right? I have this really, really nice blend. This technique works for everything, even when you're doing color. All right, so we're going to let this dry, and then I'm going to file it into shape, and you're going to see how well the French Ombre or Baby Boomer nail ends up looking. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the form off, and you can see when you get in close, the color blended right between the cover product and the white. It looks really, really well blended. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and file this into shape. And you know, the biggest problem that a lot of people have is when they're doing this, they get like shadowing right here in the corners. But let me go ahead and show you guys, if you bring it up like a full well tip and you bring your pink over the white far enough, you're not going to have that problem at all. Use my electric file. So you can see, like, if my cuticle area, like you can see the back end, how I have a nice shape. I don't really have to file that much there. And then the area here in the front where I applied the clear over, when I actually start filing through to make sure that it's even on all aspects, you can see from the top that I don't file it away. It looks like it's perfectly blended into the white, right? That's what we want to be able to achieve. I don't really have that much filing to do. Coming around the cuticle area to make sure that it's really, really well blended and all the way through the nail in one direction. And then I like to come down this profile to make sure that it's completely even from side to side. You can see how nice, you can see how even it's going to be all the way through. Now let's go ahead and take finish, all right, and put it over the top. Let's go ahead and take finish and come over the top. And you can see as soon as your top gel goes over the top, look at how clean my fade is. Look at how nice the pink blends from corner to corner. It's flawless. And that's what you want to be able to accomplish when you're doing a Baby Boomer or French Ombre. You know, with the popularity of this style, you know, you can use the same technique when it comes to color. You just have to make sure that when you're using something that's a little bit more intense, that you give it room so that when you apply the clear over the top, right, it's going to cover it up. Remember, you don't want to build it too thick. You don't want to build the tip too thick and the body too thick, because then you have no room to apply your clear over the top. With this effect, you could fade it tight, thin and tight at the base, cover it in clear, then when you file it, you don't file shadows into your baby boomer nail.